Manager Adam Peters. Timeless memories were made at the RFK site, and that's what today is about, repeating that. Timeless future memories for our city and for our team. These individuals here in particular are ready and excited to share a very special announcement with both the DC residents, Commanders fans in the region, and of course around the world as well. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
What's going on, everybody? We live, man. We about to
The
watch
managing
this
partner
presser, man.
of the Washington Commanders, Josh Harris.
Let's lock in. Sorry,
And the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell.
Just doing a little, you know what I'm saying, sharpening up of the...
Been waiting a long time to say this, Madam Mayor. It is time for kickoff. So, Mayor Bowser, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bram.
It's happening, y'all. We here.
Promise made. So I want to start by saying, welcome home. Let's give our Commanders a big Washington, D.C. welcome. We are so happy to talk this morning about bringing our team home to the sports capital, back to RFK, where they belong. And I couldn't be more excited for our city, our team, and our fans. Josh and the entire team at the Commanders, thank you. We want to say thank you for not just buying our team, some would say saving our team.
Yes, sir.
Getting the team to the NFC Championship for the first time in 33 years. But we want to thank you for making a transformational investment in Ward 7, in our city, especially now, a time where we need it the most. Commissioner, I know you can't have favorites, but we know where you grew up.
Yeah, we're going to deal with this copyright. It's all good.
And this is a big deal. I've been working on this for the 10 years that I've been mayor. And now we have the right partner at the right time.
Ooh,
and Josh is someone who
Big
cares
shot
more
Dan.
than just about this franchise. He cares about doing the right thing. And he likes to win. You've heard me say that before. He knows how to put together a winning team. And throughout this process, it's been a cooperative one. We were joined in our goals to advance a deal that we could be proud of, a development that would serve the city for generations to come, and support the best professional sports franchise in the world. So when Josh talks about this, he very elegantly says that he wants to provide and do for the city and give the city what it deserves. And I agree. And I'd go a step further and say that right now, as our economy is shifting, it's something our city really needs because we need growth and we need jobs. We have 180 acres of opportunity on the banks of the Anacostia River. And and I have to pause to acknowledge our Congresswoman and Congressman James Comer of Kentucky, who advanced a bipartisan effort to deliver that land to D.C. Thank you, Congresswoman Norton. This land has been blighted and underutilized for too long. And what our deal with the Washington Commanders provides is the fastest and surest route to developing the RFK campus. and not just delivering sports and entertainment, but delivering housing, jobs, recreation, and economic development. We will be able to deliver thousands of homes here. It will deliver a world-class, community-focused
Be a lot of goddamn
sports
traffic,
complex
chat.
for our kids. It will create park space and build out riverfront and trails. It's about creating jobs for DC residents and revenue that will support what all of our city needs. City services that have made us a growing city. We're going to be talking a lot about this project in the coming weeks and months, and it will be clear that this is a good deal for DC. It's a fantastic deal, a win-win-win for the city, the team, and the fans. So I want to say thank you for everyone that has been involved at this point. And before we take questions, I'll go through a quick list of thank yous. But I first want to introduce a person who has been a great part of the DC community in the time that he's joined. He has brought on local partners into the Commanders ownership that has meant a lot for us. And I see Mark Ein and Mitch Rails in the front row. Give them a big round of applause.
The president. Hey, go ahead, man. She's not liked by a lot of people in the city, man, but hey,
these guys been on DC a long time ago, and I am just so grateful.
Let's see how that goes.
For your partnership, Josh. And you have the floor. Josh Harris, the owner of the Washington Commanders.
Shout out to Josh. Big up to Josh Harris, baby.
Well, everyone, what a great day. It's a great day in our process to
putting up
bring
that $3
Commanders
billion.
home. And Mayor, thank you. I'm so appreciative for our partnership and everything you've done through this process. And, you know, this day is a testament to your leadership and the city's leadership. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the council members that are here. We know you're going to be considering all this, and thank you for your partnership in helping us get to this historic moment. We know you have a bunch of work to do, and we're going to be there transparently providing all the information to you, Chairman Mendelson. I know you're not here with us today, and the entire group of DC council members, so very much appreciative that you're here today to listen. And Roger, I know you're busy. Thank you for being here. It's very meaningful to have the commissioner of the NFL sitting side by side with us today. So, today I am absolutely thrilled to announce that the Commanders are ready to make and our partners are committed to make the single largest private investment in DC history.
Dang, Isaiah Bond still hasn't been picked up? Yeah, we definitely could sign him. I didn't know he wasn't, he didn't get signed as an undrafted free agent. Yeah, JD needs as many weapons as he can get, man.
You know, one of my earliest memories is walking down East Capitol Street to RFK.
Get as many weapons as you can. I still want that big body receiver, but hey, we rocking with the tools we got, man.
Right there,
but yeah, Isaiah Bond, I definitely like his game, no doubt.
There was a 25-year waiting list, and I got to go once or twice a year, but I watched every game intently, and I grew up watching the greats, whether it be Sonny Jurgensen, Billy Kilmer, Joe Theismann,
going back to the
Mark
old
Ricken,
days before I was
Hogs,
even
Joe
I was
Gibbs,
in
Art
diapers.
Monk, and 3 Super Bowls. We need one of those. And obviously, we're so honored to have Darryl, Doug, and John. Thank you all for being here today. And you're right there out there. And Adam and Dan, no pressure. That was the Washington that I remembered. When on Sundays, everything stopped, everyone was glued to their TV or in the stadium, and we've already seen a reawakening of that spirit, but we want to bring it back. Now we want to bring the Commanders home.
Yes, sir.
With a new RFK that our fans will love, our opponents will fear. It'll be loud. We want to make it about football, but also about
Man, what
the
these
city and
season
the
ticket owners
community,
gonna have
and
to
we wanna
start
host
paying,
the
man? That's
biggest
what I
and
need to
best
hear.
events in the world. When our ownership group started on this journey 2 years ago, we laid out 3 clear priorities: build a championship caliber team, improve fan experience, and make a positive impact on this community. Today's announcement is a key part of that vision. Let's come home. This project is about so much more than building a stadium. It's about a once-in-a-generation opportunity to create a catalyst.
She just
for
got herself
long-term
reelected with doing this right here.
Transformational economic growth here in DC. That means thousands of new jobs, billions of new tax revenue,
Facts.
thousands of new homes, partnerships with local businesses, and the creation of about 90 acres of mixed-use development for our community. And you know what? The city of Washington and the DMV deserve it. Without exaggeration, this will be the best stadium in the country when it's built in front of the Anacostia River, facing the Capitol and the Washington
I wonder
Monument.
if we should show a picture of it.
Show it up. And while today marks an exciting step towards bringing the Commanders
Hey, man, if
back
you can see
to
these
our
chats right
spiritual
here.
home in DC,
These
I
chats
also want
going
to
off on Muriel
recognize
Bowser.
the incredible partnership we've built with Maryland and Virginia. In Maryland, where we currently play, and in Virginia, where we train, I just want to say that I'm particularly grateful to Governor Moore and the Maryland leadership for their support and shared belief in what we can achieve together at our current stadium site as we move where we play football games to new RFK. Thank you, Governor Moore, Maryland delegation.
Hey, man, stadium was right down the street from my crib, man, so it was only right as a season ticket owner, man. I don't know about now, bro. This gonna hurt.
Humbled and grateful that God has allowed me to be part of this journey to help shape the next chapter for Commanders football, for DC, and for the entire DMV community. I'm also grateful to my family who's sitting here. Couldn't have done it without you, my wife Marjorie, Hannah, my brother Gabe, my mother Sylvia, Mama Commander.
Shout out to Mama Hurd.
I couldn't have done it without my partners, Mitch Rails, Mark On, Mr. Fallick, and others that I'm not sure if they want to be mentioned or not, so I'm not going to mention them, who are in the audience. I believe, and I know that Mayor Bowser believes, I know that you believe, in the power of this project to bring our city and this region together. We're excited to continue working with the council, the mayor, and the DC leadership and this community to shape the next chapter of RFK.
I might sound like he needs some.
RFK was the site of some of my earliest and most meaningful memories.
Uh-oh. Got a little hiccup going on. Uh-oh, what's going on with the news feed?
Generations to come.
Oh, there you go.
The future is very, very bright. Thank you. Get this done.
Let's get it done.
Adam Peters, please go and get Isaiah Bond. Hey, man. You a Texas fan? Or you just like his game? I like Isaiah Bond too, man.
We'll take
4-3
quite
guy.
an investment in infrastructure because we're going to make that stadium shake once again. Just like we
Let's
used
do
to.
it.
They know all about that. This also could be a crown jewel in making Washington the most powerful sports city in the world. And with that in mind, let me introduce NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who, like myself and like many of us in this room, grew up going to the old RFK Stadium. Commissioner.
Where the Bulls at, man? Y'all gotta keep it right.
Good morning,
Yeah,
everyone.
man.
and
Welcome back,
thanks,
Commanders,
Mayor.
baby. We back in
This
D.C.
is a very special day, one that many of us have been looking forward to many years. I'm excited to join the mayor and Josh to help announce the intention of the Commanders to return to their historical site, their home in Washington, D.C. Thank you to Mayor Bowser for your leadership, extraordinary, and we're here and glad to support you, and of course to Josh for your incredible leadership. Under Josh's leadership, this team has become a playoff team in a very short period of time. With this stadium, it will also become a leader off the field, too. The Commanders' future is clearly a bright one. Today would not be possible without the help from Congress, who in passing the RFK bill late last year, and I want to thank Representatives Comer and Norton for
W's
sponsoring
in the
the bill,
chat for Merle
and for the
Bowser,
congressional
man.
leadership for passing the needed legislation to get us here today. I grew up in this district, as was mentioned before, attending games at Old RFK Stadium.
Oh, shit, I
It
didn't know
was a
Roger
special
Goodell was from
place.
D.C.
Many of our early memories as a football fan were formed there, watching the great teams and sharing the experiences.
Super
with
Bowl
my
coming,
family
fellas.
and
Super
the
Bowl
tremendous
coming,
fans
fans.
of this
It's
team.
coming. Trust me.
A generation of fans growing up rooting for the team did not have that experience, but the next ones will, and I could not be more excited for them. The stadium project announced today promises to be great for the fans, the team, and the district, and the NFL. It also makes us better as a club, as a league, and all of our clubs playing in a world-class stadium in front of passionate fans is one of our big objectives. We've seen throughout the country new stadiums transform communities.
Yep, Buffalo
Since
just got their new
2001,
stadium.
more than $32 billion has been invested in stadiums, and there are at least 8 more projects underway, an estimated cost of $20 billion.
220. Good Lord.
This will be critical in
220
revitalizing
billion,
an
man.
area that has been dormant and undeveloped for nearly 30 years when the team first left. Here in the district, there will be billions of dollars invested in this area and economic activity that lifts up this city and generates jobs throughout the region. The NFL has a long history of investing in stadiums projects along with the home team, but all 31 teams will contribute along with Josh and his partners. This is an important project that the league recognizes, and we will be there to support.
I got to put a
Once
big
again,
ass
I want
hotel
to thank
near
the
this
mayor
stadium.
and Josh for their incredible leadership. We look forward to working with you both. This project is important to us, and we recognize we will be supporting you throughout the city council process as well, and look forward to seeing us all on opening day.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah.
Give the commissioner a big
Shout
round
out
of
to Roger
applause.
Goodell, man. Appreciate it. All right, man. Let's get into the particulars.
So let me just quickly mention some folks who have worked really long and hard to get us to this point. But I also want to emphasize to do. And my team will stand ready to work with the members of the council, providing all of the information that they need. I want to recognize the council's chair for Business and Economic Development, at-large council member Kenyon McDuffie.
Gotta get all the thank yous out the way, man. Let's get into the particulars. Let's get to the particulars.
Host council member for RFK, and I told him he came in the door winning, council member Wendell Felder. The council member who has been my partner throughout my tenure for housing and making sure we deliver it, at-large council member Anita Bonds. Thank you for being here. Very quickly, I call them my big deal team because we do big deals here.
Okay.
And
Talk your
I
shit.
asked this lady to
Mayor,
join me when I
we
became
do
mayor
big
10
deals
years
here.
ago. She thought she was retired, and she told me she would stay for a year. And 10 years later, she's here. And I want to thank Beverly Perry. I want to acknowledge our chief deal maker on this one, Sarosh Odpadwala. The deputy mayor for economic development, Nina Albert. The city administrator for the district, Kevin Donahue. And our budget director, Jenny Reed. Thank you. And I do also want to acknowledge our other partner in this endeavor, the official convention center and sports authority for the district, who will be our partner in parking, and led by Angie Gates, the president and CEO. Chaired by Leif Dormsjo. Thank you, Leif. And any other members or of the board members for Events DC, thank you for being here. Thank you. I see Sherry Doggett over there. And I want to also acknowledge our expert partners who helped us put together this deal with the team: ASM Global, CSL, Hyatt Brown, Gensler, Kutak Rock, Tybra Hudson, PFM, Legends, and Perkins Eastman. Give them a round of applause. Other members of the Congress who have been in the front and behind the scenes: Senator Mark Warner, Senator Tim Kaine, Senator Joe Manchin, Congressman Benny Thompson, and Congressman Clyburn. Please give them a big round of applause.
Mayor, may I also mention, look, this thing came together 100-0. I mean, there's been many parts of this journey in the Senate. At 12:01, I learned a lot about the political process, and I just want to thank the senators from Maryland, the senators from Virginia,
Absolutely.
For being there and for supporting this effort, because we wouldn't be here without them. So thank you.
Thank you. And final mentions to two of my predecessors who are here. One who brought baseball home, former Mayor Anthony Williams.
Got the Nationals, got the Wizards, got the
And I know
DC
a very
United,
proud woman today.
and the
Sharon Pratt.
UFL DC Commanders, man. Now we got all four major teams back in DC, man. That's dope.
Oh, Councilmember Pinto in pink. I'm sorry. I failed to acknowledge our host council member for today, and a very, very early and strong supporter of bringing the team home, our Ward 2 Councilmember Brooke Pinto.
This is an exciting day, and we do hope it is the first of a few historic announcements along the trail here. Our panel has agreed to take a few questions now.
All right, let's get to the
why don't we
questions.
do
The
that, and let's
nitty-gritty.
start with John Keim from ESPN.
John Kine, shout out.
Okay. Roger, real quick, how much does this increase the chances of getting a Super Bowl in D.C.?
Ooh.
Well, I didn't come here to announce that, but I would say dramatically.
Our next question, Sam Fortier of the Washington Post.
For all of you, when did this moment start to feel real, and what does it feel like right now?
Well, I'll start. I mean, obviously, this has been a vision of ours since we bought the team, bought the club. It was in our original plan. It's been a journey. It's been a process. I'd say, for me personally, it really started to get real in the last few weeks when the mayor, I think, shook me by and said, "We got to get going," even though we're waiting around for some politics to occur. But it got real then, and we're so happy to be in partnership with the city and the NFL announcing it today.
For me, Sam, I knew once we got the land that we needed to be ready. And when I sat across the table from Josh, and we kind of had a time frame in mind that this had to get done, or we were both going to have to move on. He was going to have to move on from us, and we were going to have to move on from the team. And so once we
Could have kept that shit in
established
Maryland.
I already knew we had the best site. I did. I knew we had the best site. And once I knew that he wanted to be back home, that we chartered a path to get there. So I would say when we knew we had the land. We'd already been working on a pretty good plan, and now we're here.
I would just add very quickly, these projects are not easy projects to take on. They're complex. They involve a lot of decision making along the way. There are difficult periods, but I would fall back on the leadership of the mayor, who had the vision and the willingness to take this on. I think that does not happen in cities or states without that.
Nah,
kind of
definitely need to know
political
what the
leader
stadium
standing
name
up
is
and
going.
saying,
Is
"This
it going to
good
stay
for our
RFK
community,"
Stadium? That's what they going to keep
which
it
we
as.
obviously agree. And of course, Josh, who understood not just the emotional
Is it going to be a name
reason
change?
for coming back to the district,
Period.
but also this was really the right thing for this community. This will be a tremendous economic driver, but more importantly, I think it will send a signal to everyone in the world, frankly, of this community and the way they're going and the direction they're going.
Our next question, David Aldridge from The Athletic.
Thank you. For Josh and for Mayor Bowser, what assurances can you provide to local residents that they will not be overwhelmed by the new construction, the new projects?
That's a good
that
question
they will
right
be
there.
able to stay in the area and stay in the housing that they currently have? And for Roger, I wonder if the SoFi project in LA is at all analogous to this in terms of the partnership that the Cronkies have with the city of Inglewood.
Well, thanks for that question. And the good thing about this site is it was an NFL stadium there. The Washington
That was over
football
30
team
years
played
ago,
there
Charlie.
for decades.
This ain't the new. These ain't the same
and
people that live there.
Transportation infrastructure exists. It is served by Metro. It's served by the highway. It's served by an expansive bus system. The difference between when the team last played and now is that there are many other modes that are available for people to travel there as well. What we've heard from the community is they're tired of the blight, and they want the 180 acre parcel to be brought back to life. So one advantage is that we won't just have what's there now, a sea of parking and a stadium. We're going to be able to have a wonderful mix of uses. I love we can show a map that demonstrates all of the different parcels that will be engaged that include entertainment, an entertainment district that has set aside park space, including the area that can't be developed right along the Anacostia River, and an entire recreation district that the district will populate with the existing fields and
I
our
just don't see
sportsplex.
how.
And what we're calling the Kingman Park District, which will be largely residential. So this is what we promise to deliver, a mix of uses that includes an NFL stadium.
Yeah, David, the only thing I would add, and that's well said, is just that only 15%. Right now, there's a crumbling. I mean, we've walked around there a bunch of times, and there's nothing there, right? And it's just been that way since RFK closed in the 90s. And so now we're bringing this area back to life. We're activating the area. And the stadium itself is only 15% of the overall land mass. So, obviously, this is going to be a great thing for that area in terms of activating the Anacostia River. You can actually ride your bike from Nationals Park. It's a thing. For the
Come on, Commanders, man, get y'all.
and so
Ish
that's
together.
a big part of what we're doing.
David, I think you asked about analogous to other stadiums. I think Atlanta is a very interesting analogy also. I think Los Angeles clearly is. I think Detroit is. I think there are many cities where they have seen the value of the reinvestment into that community. A stadium being surrounded by a development such as this that I think is very powerful, and they've all been successful, both in, I think, the community's mind, most importantly, but also in our mind. But I also think they've been successful from an economic standpoint.
Our next question is from Stephen Wino of the Associated Press.
Josh, my question's for you. Obviously, I know you guys have been looking at sites in Maryland and Virginia in the district. How much of sort of your investment was for you guys as Mitch and your ownership group nostalgia about how much you guys as a team wanted to be back at the RFK site?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you make, I mean, look, we all grew up here, right? And we all were certainly touched by our experiences, but I think it was less nostalgia and more just a deep connection to understanding how important the location was. It's in the middle of, you've got, the DMV is obviously Virginia, Maryland, and DC. DC happens to be in the middle. Obviously, we all experienced, you know, the rumbling of RFK and the centrality of that location in terms of its proximity to the seat of government and to businesses and being in the middle, as well as
The
you know, the
residents,
experience of a city stadium, right? Like walking there, taking the metro, kind of the experience itself. So I think that all of those things contributed, but at the end of the day, it was the right thing. It was less nostalgia. It was more just the fact that we had grown up here gave us that vision to, not look at the crumbling concrete that was there, but remember in our minds the vivid nature of what Washington football was all about and how it really brought a city that was socioeconomically, distinct and challenged at that point, with lots of groups of people together, right? No matter where you were from, who you were, your race, color, religion. On Sundays, you were a Washington football fan. And so that really did contribute to our focus on it and then, kind of brought it to life. And then, look, let's face it, Washington is amongst, if not the most important city in the world. It's a gateway city for the United States of America. And, to have a stadium and a site, where you can see the Washington Monument, you can see the Capitol. I remember watching on TV those shots and having John Madden talk about, we're here in the nation's capital, and there's the Washington Monument. There's the White House.
They still show
there's
that.
the nation's capital.
They still show that right
RFK,
now.
that bull, right? And so all that
They do a
stuff
flyover
was
real quick.
incredibly motivating to all of us.
Our next question is from Chick Hernandez of WUSA.
All righty then. You gonna hold this? Okay. I am capable. Commissioner, we've had 2 decades of darkness here with this franchise, and then it turned around. What's the league view of this franchise and what's taking place right now with this welcoming back home?
Yeah, I would say that the league view is incredibly positive. Josh coming in and I think making a commitment to this franchise that they were going to be one that this community would be proud of. Obviously, every owner that comes in hopes to have the winning tradition reestablished quickly. I think Josh may have been ahead of his timetable a little bit, but good for him. And I think it's
Good
beyond...
GM and coach and quarterback.
Jaden helps, but he's got a great team over here. But I would say that
JD5, baby.
we look at this as a very important football market. This has been one that we want to have, obviously, a sterling franchise in this community. We feel that we have that now. It's going in the right direction. I think the commitment by Josh and the city to bring the team back into D.C. is a really important one. I think emotionally, but also I think it signifies that they care about this community, they care deeply about it, and they're going to do the right things to make this franchise successful.
Our next question is from Rebecca Turco of WJLA7.
Hi, good morning. This is a question for the mayor. The $202 million for infrastructure and the $89 million for the sportsplex. Can you explain why use taxpayer money for this? Why not pursue creative options like personal seat licenses, for instance?
Okay, so I think you've asked me about the public investment in the stadium. So what I hope has been made clear is that this is a massive investment and the largest private investment in the district's history. The Commanders will be committing $2.7 billion to building the stadium.
$2.7
billion. So the total investment
right. Y'all know what 2.7 billion really is,
Total
Chet?
investment will be $3.6 billion. Our part of the investment will be
3
$500 million to support horizontal stadium construction. And Events DC, as I mentioned, our partner, is partnering for parking in the sum of $181 million. And the district is also partnering in parking for a total of $175 million. At the end of the day, we will own both of the parking garages. And so,
Parking
in
garages.
addition
Oh,
to
shit.
that, is we would, and as we have done with all public parcel development, we contribute to infrastructure development. And so we have the sum of $202 million listed there for roadways and transportation studies and the
Yeah, y'all
like,
should have been got those
that
roads
support
cleared up.
bringing RFK to life. Very similar to what we're doing at McMillan, or what we've done at St. Elizabeth's, or what we've done at Walter Reed, or what we've done at the adjacent Hill East. That the district goes in and supports infrastructure and works with a trusted development partner to build out. And that's how we expect to proceed here. As it relates to the Sportsplex, this is a long promise of mine. I think you know, 3 years ago, I made my first investment in the Sportsplex in our capital improvements plan.
Just
and we're
winning, the
coming
money
back
will
as
flow. That's
part
one of the
this
comments in the
package,
chat. That's
to make
facts.
sure we deliver it. You may not know this, but our kids right now leave school if they are indoor track athletes, for example, and they travel out of DC to go do track. Our gymnasts, they go around the region. Our cheerleaders don't have a place to cheer. So we need a world-class indoor sports facility, and we will invest in it at RFK.
Our next question is from Sam Collins of the Washington Informer.
Peace and blessings. Sam P.K. Collins of the Washington Informer. Madam Mayor, and anybody else who wants to answer, if we can just talk about, as it relates to the community benefits plan, what is the timeline of stakeholder engagement? How much in funds are we talking about being dispersed? And is this an arrangement that's happening in perpetuity or for a limited time?
Well, with all economic development projects, I start with this, and I've been involved with a lot over the years. The number one community benefit is what we will deliver on the site. So we will be able to deliver because of this catalytic anchor investment by the commanders between 5,000 and 6,000 units of housing. We will be able to deliver more hotels. We will be able to deliver more jobs. So those are the chief economic benefits. When we look at this, more than 16,000 jobs will be created and more than $20 billion in tax revenue over
16,000
the
jobs,
period
that's
of
tough.
this commitment.
Nah, that's tough. Right
Those
there.
are the benefits.
16,000 jobs.
Additionally, we have
Hopefully
laid
that goes
out
to some of these
pretty preliminary
YNs.
ideas with the team about other ways that the community will want to be involved in the site. I know I've had some preliminary conversations with members of the council. The team has had preliminary conversations with members of the council, and I expect those ideas will be fleshed out during the council process.
Our next question is from Mark Seagraves of NBC4.
Hey, good morning. Thanks very much. A question for you, Mayor Bowser, and a question for you, Mr. Harris. Mayor Bowser, I'm just wondering what you will say to residents at a time, you're faced with an enormous uphill budget battle going forward, both in the 2025 and in the upcoming 2026, with the prospects of layoffs, cuts of services, and hundreds of millions of dollars cut from the out years in the budget. How do you justify, what do you say to residents who think this is not the right time to put hundreds of millions of dollars into this development when you're having to cut services and possibly furlough workers? And then, Mr. Harris, for you, you mentioned that through
That's a
this you've
big
learned a lot
question you
about the
raised,
political
brother.
process with the federal government. You're about to learn a lot about the political process with the D.C. Council. and I only see 4 council members here today. You're going to need 7 votes. I'm wondering what your plan, we saw what happened with Monumental in Virginia. I'm wondering what your plan B is and how serious you've negotiated with Maryland throughout this if this deal falls through, if the D.C. Council fails to approve this. So, Mayor Bowser,
Yeah,
just
well,
on,
first,
thank you.
Mark, I want to make sure you're not confusing viewers. We're not talking about the CR-caused FY25 summer crises. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is our future. We're talking about our FY26 budget. And I'm advancing a balanced FY26 budget that is both focused on right-sizing spending, for sure, but it is also making some big, bold investments in growth. Now is not the time where our economy is shifting. You know what our job is right now? Our job is to replace economic activity for 40,000 people. If we don't make some change, they may not have their jobs. If we don't make some change, they may not live here. So our job is to advance a budget that is bold and that invests in growth. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about all of that growth agenda. But it starts with a catalytic investment at RFK. We cannot leave. If you need to add revenue, as we do, you can't leave 180 acres vacant. If you need to add jobs, as we do, you cannot wait for an anchor to show up to start developing there. When you need to attract business, you have to be about business.
Okay. Look at her putting her Barack Obama, you know, that good old finger.
So we're going to be talking about FY26.
Damn.
Now, the Congress still has to fix FY25. Because if they don't, because your question is a serious one, I call it a fake budget crisis because we have the money. So if we have to cut services because they don't fix their snafu, then that's a problem. But, you know, we're going to keep pushing it. But we can't stop because no matter what happens with FY25, FY26 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have, at the end of FY30, or the beginning of FY30, a new stadium. We're going to have it.
About 6-7 years now?
I think that this is an incredible ROI for the city of DC, the local community around the stadium. Literally, the mayor has done an amazing job at negotiating on behalf of the city, but also becoming a partner with us in an investment that is going to create like billions of tax revenue, thousands of jobs, a whole new community, and tie together the city. And look, I look forward to continuing my engagement and intensifying my engagement with the council, both Ward 7, but also the broader DC communities and the people that are representing the broader DC community, and being super transparent, giving them the details they need. And I think the project speaks for itself. And I think the project will stand, and I believe will convince the council this is in the best interest of DC.
Man, that don't sound like that John 100% sold right now,
Stephanie
but
Ramirez of Fox 5.
Can I just say one other thing? And we did have other alternatives, but we're really focused here.
yeah, back to PG. Slim,
Of course
come
not.
on back.
All right, a question for Mr. Harris. First off, we saw the photo right after the president signed the bill of the two of you smiling. I'm over here, sorry. Right back here. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
saw the photo of you both smiling right after former President Joe Biden had signed the RFK bill into law. So the question everybody had was this already a done deal? Can you talk about where you guys were in that moment? And was this what you always wanted from the beginning in purchasing? And then I also have a follow-up question for you, Mayor Bowser.
Yeah, the answer is obviously that was a big step in the process. Until DC had the land back, there was no way you could consider doing this project at the RFK site. So that was the first step in the process, but we had not concluded or even, it was very early in the negotiations with DC. And so after that moment, so yes, that was an amazing kind of part of the process, but after that moment, as the new year changed to 2025, we got to work and really created all these details. And so I was definitely smiling, but I was also, I knew there was a lot of work ahead. And listen, we've been very transparent with the whole DMV community in terms of what we thought was the right answer for the location of the stadium. And sometimes when you have partners in other jurisdictions, those conversations can be, it's harder to be honest and upfront about it, but we also didn't know whether we would be able to achieve. We kept discussions going, and obviously we've made commitments in Maryland, as to making that site a great site and not having what happened to DC, which is RFK just literally sat there and became a mass of concrete. That's not going to happen in Maryland. We've already committed it won't, and we're engaging with the state of Maryland as to what we're going to do with that site to make it great for Maryland. And we have fans, obviously, in Virginia. We have fans in Maryland. We have fans in D.C. D.C. happens to be the center of it, but it's very important. We like having, we have our business offices in Maryland. We have our training complex in Virginia. If we can accomplish our stadium in D.C., we're engaging the whole area.
And then Mayor Bowser,
go ahead and move
couple
training
questions
camp down
here.
here to
We know
Maryland,
that
man.
there are significant issues with business downtown and reviving downtown DC. Does this project kind of replace anything downtown, or how do you balance what you're trying to do here with reviving downtown? And then separately, will you commit to working with the residents some kind of financial agreement for those neighbors who are concerned that they may be forced to move out because of rising property costs with the new stadium that's going to be going there?
Well, nobody will be forced to move out. What we're proposing is completely on the RFK parcels. And the first part of your question was what?
How does this work with redeveloping downtown?
We think it's entirely complementary. And more than that, we kind of got an early start on our growth agenda, what I'm now calling our growth agenda, because of the work that we were able to do downtown. And it's particularly around Chinatown and Gallery Place. And I see our Gallery Place Chinatown co-chairs here. Give those ladies a big round of applause. Jody and Debbie. I see Jerem Price, who helped produce the Downtown Action Report. The council members at the front who unanimously approved a $515 million investment in keeping the Capital One Arena downtown. Might I add a structure that's very similar to what we are proposing here. And so I think that we have demonstrated that cities especially we're doubling down on what's working for us. We are a hospitality economy and a sports and entertainment economy. You've heard me say 1,000 times, this is not just fun and games. It's dollars and cents for the city. And what happens at these parcels helps us invest in all 8 wards.
We have time for one final question. Kate Ryan from WTOP.
Thank you so much. Once again, in terms of having this team return here, what do you envision in terms of people being able to afford it like they did in the old days? You'd walk over from your backyard barbecue to the games. What are the prices going to be like?
Yeah, what these
So, I mean,
prices
Mark,
going to be
Mark,
like?
Mark and I pulled out a ticket, and I hate to say it, from 1972. He kept it somehow, and it was $12 face. But look, I think obviously for us,
Yeah, what that money
you know,
talking about?
affordability. We sit down every year, and Mark Klaus, our new president, is there. We sit down as a business team, and we set ticket prices, and we are very focused every year on affordability.
My shit done went up 5%, Slim.
I have a family, the ability of everyone to bring their family to the game, and so that's going to continue to be, kind of a priority for us. New stadium, old stadium, pretty much everywhere. Thanks.
We're going to give you an opportunity to have a photo opportunity in just a moment. We're going to ask you all to stay seated as we're going to call you up in groups. But first, to commemorate what is a historic day, we're going to take this commander's helmet. Mayor Bowser, Josh Harris, Commissioner Goodell are all going to sign this today.
I got to get me a helmet too, man.
Perfect color for it, isn't it?
All right, y'all. They doing the signing of the helmet right now. I don't know if I can show this part, but
Should we all stay on the same side?
this is what I'll do. I think they're done. I'll do this. I don't know if y'all can see that real quick.
Congratulations. Allie, you want to call up some for groups or photo opportunities, please?
All right, man. We're just gonna recap real quick, man. Again, like I said, man, shout out. This is a monumental moment, man. The Washington Commanders are back into Washington D.C., as you guys have heard. Again, man, as a season ticket holder and as a fan, again, just having family, near RFK Stadium, man. Family is, down in D.C. Southeast as we currently speak. Hey, that traffic is going to be OD crazy, man. I don't know if y'all really see that or not. That traffic going to be wild. So I don't know if I'm going to continue to invest my funds into attending games. I will go to games, of course, right? But I don't know if I'm going to be paying. I don't know what the prices are going to be like in 2030. If we get a Super Bowl by then, y'all, and I hope y'all do know, man. Like when they talk about like pouring money back into the city and spending so much money on a new stadium and things like that, that is going to open up jobs. That's going to open up for events to be going on, and that money will be pulled back into the city. I think that's a part of the deal that they have constructed in DC, is that you got Super Bowl, you got the Olympics, you got concerts, you got festivals that you can have, and from what I'm hearing, that it is going to be a dome stadium. So a lot of indoor events, even when it's cold, that's going to bring money back into DC. My main concern is parking, because driving down there right now, they have built like little soccer stadiums and skating parks and all that. I think I heard the mayor mention, having parking garages being built. That is okay. That's cool. That's cool or whatever like that. But just off the initial parking, where RFK currently is and how it is right now, hey man, parking gonna be a bitch, and I'll definitely be catching the metro. I'm gonna go ahead and park at the people's crib and walk to Benning Road Station and just catch that blue line down to one station, and I'm gonna go ahead and walk into that stadium because I don't want to be stuck in that traffic trying to get home after the game. Monday night games, Thursday night games, Sunday night, like that's. I mean, now granted, most of the games are gonna be on Sundays. And you might have one Thursday night or one, Monday night game, something like that. But and then again, playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Those are all going to be on the weekend. So, but just hey man, traffic is definitely going to be one of the biggest issues. There is a lot of residents around RFK Stadium. So I'm curious because I think I heard once before they even announced this is that they was having town halls and a lot of the residential people that live close to RFK was not happy about it. They really didn't want the stadium being there. That's what kind of made me think like, hey, PG and Maryland is asking for this stadium to stay here. We know how much we benefited off of, what I'm saying, having the stadium in Maryland. I don't see where all that money going because the road's still fucked up in DC and Maryland. I don't see no money being pulled back into the schools like that. So, I mean, those are other political concerns that I know people want to talk about. That ain't 100% me as a fan. I don't really pay too much to the political side of things. But the stadium right down the street from the crib, like I said, man, that joint is in literally walking distance. But I got 5 years left to enjoy, Northwest Stadium, until RFK 2.0 is rebuilt. But until then, man, we gonna see how this thing continue to play out. I think they said the council members still gotta, vote and approve it. We gonna see how that goes. Again, it is a great thing to have all major sports in DC because it is in the center of the DMV. But I do understand both sides of it. I understand the people that live in DC and live close to RFK why they wouldn't want it there, and then why some people do want it to be there. I understand both sides. I truly do. As a fan of the Washington Commanders, I'm excited about the team being back there. Hopefully we can continue to go on this trajectory of winning. Because again, like I said, even when it comes to the name, Washington Redskins, Washington Commanders, Washington Go Getters, Washington Go Go Band, I don't care what our name is. I just want to win. I don't care what we play at. We can play in DC. We can play in Virginia. But if it wasn't Virginia, trust me, I was definitely selling my ticket because I'm not driving out to Virginia to no game. GG's. But nothing against Virginia, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to drive that far out to go to a game. That's just me, period. I'm not driving that far out there. But as long as we are winning, winning cures all issues and heartaches and misunderstandings and being upset about, why did we do this or why are we going back into RFK? So that's all I care about. I just want to win an organization and a winning franchise. So as a fan, I just want to see us win, man. That's all I care about. So whatever our name is, whatever our colors is, whatever our location and where we play at, that don't mean nothing to me, man. Let's just win games. I want to continue to win games, and that's all I really care about, man. So, hey, let me know what your thoughts is, man. Drop a comment. Like the live, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in and just listen to the announcement of the new RFK 2.0. And we're gonna see where we go from here, man. Hopefully everything goes well. And 2030, she said, 2030, we'll be in a new stadium, man. All things new. And when you're winning, winning cures everything, man. So until the next time, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm out. I see y'all in the next one. Raise hell, baby.